Chapter 13: The Path to Zarkon. Using the aqueduct, Ryu has arrived at the moat surrounding Zarkon. However, a great wall blocks his path into the palace itself. Well, that's not ominous at all. What's correct with people? Anansi here, welcome back to Ninja Gaiden. In the last one, I went on a bit of a tangent with regards to my ideas for the adaptation and the evolution of Ninja Gaiden as a franchise over the moat. Don't worry about that. Over the years, and in this one, we're going to continue on with that motif, shall we?
So yeah, going from there, a lot of the issues with regards to adaptation just comes from the fact that it's very difficult to adapt a story that everybody already knows. By the way, don't worry about these demon fish things right now. As far as I can tell, they're pretty much. Oh, never mind. I guess they're only harmful if you're on top of the water. Because otherwise, either you have to be on top of the water or actively in front of them for them to register your presence. Otherwise, it's not that big a deal from what I can tell. So we got two openings here. So let's go through this one where the golden scarab was. Because usually the golden scarab route is pretty much the one you don't go to, due to the fact that it's a hidden route. Yeah, okay, so there's not much around here. So yeah, with regards to just some of the adaptations, it's just kind of hard to do so because the problem with inherently adapting a medium that is more passive, adapting a medium that's more active into a medium that's more passive with regards to like books and games, is that when you adapt these into like shows and movies, you run into the issue that you just rather be playing the game or reading the book. Because when you read the book, you have your own interpretations of what the stories and events should be like. Ooh, snap. Yeah, I'm going to get over here because you guys are going to be a pain in the butt, I can already tell. What I meant to do, but okay. I see, you were not going to make it easy on me. Very well. Okay, so... yeah, so we're down here. So yeah, just a lot of problems comes from adapting a passive medium into adapting an active medium to a passive medium. Just with the sheer fact that you wind up with the situation where you either want to be playing the game itself or reading the book itself, because the book usually has more detail. Get stabbed here. Ooh, just barely. Ooh, just barely made that one. But yeah, so I mean, and the funny thing about like with books and stuff, you have this issue. It's like, okay, give me a second here. We got. Let's put in. Ooh, a spear gun. All right, Muramasa, what do you got for me? Got an omelet of benediction. Which reminds me, I don't think I showed off the other omelets that we received earlier. Got a couple of things. Our next upgrade for our wooden sword is 10,000, and wow, we are nowhere near maxing this out. I'm gonna see if I can't max out this wooden sword to see what it does, because now I am legitimately curious. I had never actually done it before. So we have no elixirs and only one great elixir. Okay. Let's hold off for a little bit just in case. So with regards to the spear gun, I always pronounce it like sphere. Auto reloading spear gun. It is not very useful out of water, so you really can't use this thing, because I don't think you can. Well, I mean, yeah, you can, but it's like I don't think the spears actually do anything. And this is how you deal with the demon fish. So that's what it does to you. Golden Scarab! Yeah, I think that's a lot of the problem with a lot of the, is that with the books you have the ability to essentially see in your mind. If you're one of those visual readers, you can see in your head what you want the action characters to look like based on the descriptions. But when you see it put to screen, you are then, well, influenced by the depiction of the individual director or writer. So when you get around to adapting it into a show, it's just kind of hard to do it, you know? And when you have games adapted, the default for Hollywood, for some freaking reason, is to double down on it being a game rather than a story that's attached to a game, you know? Like, you can very easily... Oh, wow. Okay, then. I'll go ahead and open this up real fast. I have made a terrible mistake. Right, there we go. And that deals with these monstrosities. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that they just tend to double down on it being a game, which is what you really should not do, just for the sheer fact that when people go to see an adaptation, they want to see a take on the story, not a take on the game. It's one of the reasons why the Dead or Alive movie, while, you know, working with a source material that at the time was incredibly sparse but still there, at the very least I give it points for trying to do something, you know? But I give it points for at least trying to do something new and something interesting, you know? Even if it was just ridiculous, because the plot of that movie was, okay, we had the Dead or Alive tournament. Helena, one of the main characters, one of the main big inciting incidents of the game, gets turned into like this mid-teenaged heiress when she's a full-grown woman and very much in charge of her father's company, but they put the bad guy in charge of his company, which is technically true, but not really true. And instead of him trying to make these band of weaponized clones of a, at the time, I think, 16-year-old girl, okay, I think I might have a problem here. Now we're dealing with mermen. And I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of forget how to handle these guys. Ha! I have a spear gun. Suck it! Not the enemy I'm trying to shoot, but okay. I think I messed up, as I am now in his domain. Okay. Okay, I got this. Wait, are you in my domain now? No, I'm not. Okay. Come on. Come on. Yeah, not gonna lie, I kind of forget these guys exist. And their aim is surprisingly terrible. Come on. Man, enemies like these get on my nerves. And there goes your head. And there's another one. Okay. Yeah, I see how this goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust out the windmill shuriken, because that one has never failed me before. Right, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to essentially just kind of run on water, avoid getting grabbed, and do your... Did I actually kill that thing with... Yes, I did. I actually killed that thing with a flying swallow, which is very hard to do. Looks like another one respawned, or there's a third one. Either off with your head. Okay. Last of them. So let's go ahead and dive on in, pull out the spear gun, and handle these guys, because now you can pretty much... Ha! You almost had me! And these can get pretty large essence ores. You can use these to get a little bit of cash. Yeah, where's that again? Yeah, and the problem with the game is that they just want to adapt it to be an actual video game, which is why whenever you get down to like the actual tournament, for some reason this martial arts tournament, which is determined by TKOs and stuff, randomly has these watches that give them health bars, and I'm like, what the heck, dude? Now I'll say this having not seen the original Mortal Kombat movies, because I hear the first Mortal Kombat movie that they ever made was actually really good. Yeah, I say that having never seen trying to symbol. Okay. It really helps to read sometimes, dude. I said having never seen the original Mortal Kombat movies because just never did. I hear the first one is apparently beyond amazing, but the second one's where things go off the rails. Well, I'll say beyond amazing, but apparently it's a really good. But apparently it's a really good adaptation of a video game. Probably because they don't fall into the same trappings as a lot of other adaptation movies, where they just try to make the video game into a viewable movie. This is one long cutscene, but without any of the actual like polish that goes into it, which is a lot of the problem I find. It's just use and right. Open the compartment of the ship. Okay, but it just I don't know. Anyway, let's take a break from talking about that right now, because I need to bring up these couple of things that we actually got in the last few parts that I never talked about. These are our accessories. We got, as a result of handing in a couple of things to Muramasa, and I think for completing a chapter, we got the Armlet of Benediction, which an armlet emblazoned with the figure of a goddess. When equipped, it increases yellow essence absorption. This one, I believe, is pretty much, we got the element of celerity, an armlet engraved with the figure of a dragon. It decreases the needed time to charge ultimate techniques, and I think we've gone over potency, but just in case, it increases your throw damage. So if you have a throw technique you like using, this makes it more powerful. Pretty much a one-off. Celerity, if you like using your ultimate moves, this reduces the time it takes to charge it. This one, I believe, increases how much essence you get per absorption. So we're going to put this one off right now. And even though all of a sudden increases your overall attack power. And we got the, not this one, the Holy Gauntlet. Okay, doesn't look very holy to me. Slightly decreased damage, increase ability. It decreases your damage ability, but increases ability to absorb essence. So you don't do as much damage, but you get more money. So if you need money, you can equip this and your benediction and go from there. Anyway, where's that now? Right. Okay. So we're just kind of at this weird stage where it's like, oh, now we got a new item, oxygen cylinder. We can now breathe on the water. That's pretty much all it is. So not to worry about running out of air. Go in the water and bring out the projectile weapon. But yeah, I just feel like they don't adapt a lot of. I feel like they just don't adapt a lot of things very well, because what the Triton piece not go to that door. Because what I think a lot of Hollywood's problem is that it doesn't want to take the risk of adapting a video game story. Well, not even adapting a video game story, but actually looking at the story and seeing what works and what doesn't, what they can make a serious drama out of and what they can't. And it's go, well, it's just a dumb movie design. There's just a dumb movie. Let's get a bunch of nerds in the theater, make a few quick dollars off it, and go from there. But what they inadvertently end up doing is, when they do adaptation movies, they just end up half-assing it, for lack of a better term, and then nobody's happy, because now they get this reputation that adaptation movies, and then by extension, use the key of Triton, and we have an arena brawl. No, we want to get that thing is useless out here. Okay. Joke's on you, I can breathe on the water. Okay. Really gotta get that skill under control. Okay. Okay, we might need to use okay, there we go. Ha, off of your head. Okay, this is going to be kind of difficult, but let's make do. Off of your head. Off of your head. So yeah, so I mean, we don't need the armlet to stun anymore. You can still use it if you want. Well, I think. Then a massive joint does, but you can still use it if you want. It's just not needed, in my opinion, just because at this point your weapon should be so upgraded that you really don't need it anymore. Now let's see here. We had what we got here. Let me go back the way I came for a quick second. Even though I know a part of respawn the enemies, let's go back the way I came for a quick second. Because I feel like I'm missing something here. Because there should be a way into... Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I knew I was forgetting something here. But yeah, it's just... I feel like they don't put the effort into these adaptations because all they really want is to grab a couple of fans, or grab the biggest amount of fans they can, have some casual interest people come in and be like, okay, so We got this fan base coming in, and we got some casual interest people coming in, so we should be able to have some fun and just make a quick dollar off of this. But the whole thing is like, if you want to grab fans, in my opinion, you want to grab fans with an adaptation, a movie adaptation of a famous property, then just adapt the story. Okay, I get you want to do something original, but maybe start off with adapting the original story first, and then spinning off from there. Like I had no problem with like if they like let's go back to their life. If they wanted to do the whole Victor Donovan makes glasses or some kind of program that can instill the greatest fighting abilities of well, not even great fighting abilities, just instill like an automatic like I win, I'm a super martial artist mode into people, then that's fine. But they should start off with the original story first. Once again, in my opinion, and then adapt it from there. Then take the risk. Then go off the deep end. Then make something different and original. Um, so that way you get the good faith of the original fan base to come back for the next one. I mean, layer in something different so that way it's like, okay, well, this is the original story that we know, but here are a couple of twists and turns. It's like, well, we're going to fill in some plot points here, we're going to fill in some holes. Well, how should I put this? Well, yeah, I mean, like, you can have the original story, do what you, like, make sure it hits a lot of familiar beats, but wherever there's a missing plot hole or where there's, like, a missing point or, like, a gap that's, like, if you need this to be filled in to make a movie, then fill that in, show your ability to be creative with that opening, and then go from there. And here we are, back in the hole there. Yeah, we're back in the underground where we killed that demon thing. But yeah, just going back to that, just to kind of finish up this point where we continue onwards, it's like show that you have the ability to be creative, be different, within the way you fill up the what looks to be things that you don't think make a whole lot of sense as far as the story progresses, but also tell the original story before you go off doing something crazy and different. I think we're going to keep on going. We are a little bit over time, but whatever, just keep on going. But yeah, just like I know I've repeated myself a couple of times here. Just give me a second to get the thoughts in order here. But if you're going to do an adaptation, instead of trying to be like, oh, I know better how to make the story work, tell the original story, hit a lot of the familiar beats, keep the characters as close to the same as you realistically can, depending on the kind of story you're telling. Whether it's going to be a stylized story or a realistic story. I prefer stylized myself, but that's a personal preference. And within those holes that you fill with your own creativity, that will endear you to the fan base, but also hitch it off with some of the casual moviegoer you're trying to get, because a lot of it is just them trying to get the casual movie-going audience, and a lot of them feel like, well, we can lure in the hardcore fans with just the name, but then we can tell a casual story and really make our money off of that, because regardless, we're going to have the casual people come in if the story's good. Just that 9 times out of 10, the story they make, no one really likes. So what do you do? Well, as I've been saying, show off your creativity within the limits of what you can do, within the limits of what's previously there, and then in the adaptation, as it were, on a note that shows, oh, this is going to be different, and then you can have the flexibility to do a different story from there. You're essentially having to sacrifice much of your creativity for the first go around, but you can make up for that by having a lot more creativity for the second go round, and that's the gamble I think should be taken rather than just carte blanche grabbing an IP, doing something completely different that is to a point where it's like you might as well just done this on a completely different IP, just make a new one essentially and then go from there. It's like, I think the most recent example I saw was the Powerpuff Girls movie. It hasn't come out yet. I think they're doing research for it at this time at the very least. The script for it has been leaked, and the script portions I saw, it's very clear that this is not meant to be a Powerpuff Girls movie. And once again, I have not seen the reboot of it because I saw the original show coming out when I was like 5 or 6. And I think the reboot came out when I was like 17 or 18. I'm like, well, I'm way too old to watch this. I just don't watch it. But I know I think it did a couple of things differently to try to appeal to a greater audience. Greater audience to appeal to a new generation. Fair. I'm not going to knock you for that one. But the story that I saw, the script leak that I saw hint that Blossom killed Mojo Jojo for some apparent reason, and that the girls are essentially these late teens trying to pursue a normal life. And I'm like, you took 3 superpowered little girls and tried to domesticate them. What? And that's really where my issues with that comes from. It just doesn't make any sense to me that you would go off and do that. And it's just is a problem indicative. I have just the thing for you. It's just a problem I think that is indicative of a wider issue that it's not even that Hollywood doesn't have any creativity. I just don't think that they're confident in the original ideas that they do come up with. Yeah, you're going to make something that's not going to work out well. Okay, that's fine. It's part of the creative process. You know what you do? If you're really confident, you're really proud of the original work you made, then here's what you do. You try again the second time. That's what you do. But no one wants to do that. No one wants to do that. No one wants to take that risk. And I'm just like, why? Oh, I got more. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we're going to 20,000. Okay. I wonder if this turns into the ultimate weapon in the game, because I'll admit, I did not put a lot of effort into this on my first go-around, so we'll kind of go from there. Now, if he goes this way, we can actually go back up here. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I wonder what the thought process is. Are you scared to take the risk? Because all you end up doing... Oh, snap. Okay, I'm not doing this today. Suck it, nerd. On the last page, there's yet another scribbled note. My safe has been tampered with yet again. I have no choice but to change the number once again. This time I shall use my granddaughter's birthday, December 23rd. Yes, I think that's right. No one will break into my safe again. At the end of the entry, there are notes reading left, left, right, left. Did not think that one through. Now, any contrary on this one, because I always get this wrong. Okay. Left. Yeah, and we get another Jewel the Demon Seal. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, you look at it, and you're just wondering what the big idea is. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to say that you're making something inherently better? Because if that's the case, you're coming at it from the wrong direction. You're coming at it from the wrong angle. Now, I don't think we can actually go back to here, can we? Oh, wait, yes we can.
Secret path to Imperial Palace. This arc is located under this building. You should now be able to forge your way through the water that fills this passage. Aeon's way of saying, turn around, dummy. Oh, give me a sec, you tsundere, Jesus. Ah, suck it, nerd! I am curious about a couple of things. I want to check a few things real fast before we get going. So if you didn't get Rachel's hamburger the first time around, you can get it this time. And I think a lot of the paths I think everything's still the same. So there's no real point in keeping on going this way. We're going to go ahead and head on back up. And continue onward. So yeah, I did forget to show off that one door earlier that we could have gone with Rachel. I kind of let my explosive nature get the best of me. But for the most part, it is just a couple of goodies. I want to say it's just a few elixirs. I want to say, and we'll go from there. As a matter of fact, we're kind of at time right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. We're gonna call it a part here, and I'll see you in the next one, where we'll probably end up doing some extra exploration around Zarkon, or around the capital, because there are a couple of things that I think we have not done yet that I do need to take a look at, just to see what other goods we can get before we head on off. But yeah, I mean, but that's just my whole thing on adaptations. Like, if you're going to do it, at least have some ability to at least recognize when you're making an actual adaptation or when you're just using a namesake to score some brownie points. Because what you end up doing is you end up pissing off fans, and then you have this premise that's been crowbarred into a premise that doesn't work to begin with, and you've upset fans, and then the people who are watching the movie have a total disconnect from it. It's like, oh, none of this makes any amount of sense, and then you're just like, well, that could have gone better. So yeah, we'll continue this discussion in the next one, and that'll probably be the last thing I have to say on the issue. So rejoice, those of you who do not wish to hear more of this. The next one will be the last time we talk about it, just so we can keep on going. Because right now we are just simply retreading old ground. I'll probably bring it up every once in a while just to have something to talk about. But once again, we are just retreading old ground at this point. Luckily, that's infinite ammo. Anyway, I've been Anansi, you've been awesome. I'll catch you later.